It's a great story, the one about the old man explaining to the child who asks, tell me about eternity. What does eternity mean? So the old man says, well, imagine that there's a little bird, and every 1,000 years this little bird comes down and picks up one speck of sand from the beach, just one speck of sand, and takes that sand in its beak and drops it out into the ocean. Imagine that every 1,000 years this bird does this with a speck of sand. By the time the whole beach is gone, eternity is just beginning. It's a helpful story to shift us beyond our focus here on the present and the here and the now, which is important, but which only makes sense and which only has meaning in the light of an eternal perspective. So much of our worry and our difficulties, our problems, our anxieties, let's use the contemporary word, our stress, comes when we see such a small little perspective. And as humans, we are created for so much more. We are created to live with nothing less than an eternal perspective. That is a divine perspective, which is another way of saying it is a truly human perspective. We spend 9 months or so in the womb of our mother, and then we leave the womb, that place of security and warmth, and we are born into this earthly existence where we live maybe 70, 80, 90 years if we are strong. We think that everything has to happen here and now. We measure the success of our projects and our lives by what happens here and now. But the fact is that the death that we experience at the end of our earthly life is really much more of a transition into the life for which we were created. Now, shifting into life with that eternal, that not yet perspective, is not an escape from the present. What it is helping us to see the reality, the events, the circumstances of the present in a perspective that is the perspective of reality. Often I ask myself when I'm worried about something or feeling stress or anxiety, I ask myself, will this worry, will this thing that I'm concerned about, will this project that I'm pouring so much energy into, will it make a difference to me, to where and how I am in 100 years? And often at that point I have to laugh at myself and say, no, it won't at all. So perhaps it's not worth that much worry. However, there are other things which will determine our eternal life. We know that because they resonate with something that's very deep inside us. We know when we're doing things that are leading us towards that eternal life. We know too when we are doing and saying things that are leading us away from that eternal perspective of life and love with God. Remember, this is not just a divine perspective, it's not a fantasy perspective. This perspective is at the heart of our Christian faith, and it's only living with this perspective that enables us to be fully human here in the present.